What's up, folks? Yeah, short me. So I am wearing a yellow shirt, so I can't really, have to zip up. Yeah, I had an awesome day snowboarding today. I am really tired, so I'm not sure how effective I'm gonna be. This is not good, but we'll be fine. So yeah, we'll just share my screen. I'm gonna be working on stuff for the workshop on Thursday in 2 days. So let's see, I think I've got, this is the KCD shop thing, and here is the workshop itself. Okay. Where's the restart thing? Yeah, I can't find that sometimes. Okay, reload. Made a couple of changes thanks to Oneman, a couple ideas to make the setup a lot faster. And we have a green build, mostly because I disabled running validate as part of the setup. And so now that's not required. I think that is fine. I'm not concerned about that right now. We don't even have tests actually implemented in these apps. And so, yeah, so we're okay. Okay, so let's get going. Whew, we got a lot of writing to do. I'm gonna need centered to remind me to take breaks so that I'm a little more effective. Okay, and let's get this started. Yeah, so that looks good. Start learning for routing. Okay, let me clean up some of my windows and stuff here too. And get in the chat, which should be right here. So you'll find chat in my Discord server, live stream chat. Just look for the latest thread, and that's where we're chatting. Feel free to join. Okay. Oh yeah, routing has a bunch of stuff already written. Sweet. Because we're creating new files and stuff, so that's nice. Yeah, and these, sweet. I think we're going to need to edit some of this because Cody kind of tells them what to do. Okay, cool. Let's just explain what routing is all about. One of the key or critical pieces of the web is the URL, which is short for yeah, there we go. Uniform Resource Locator. Is that really right? Is it locator or location? Let's find out. Yep, that's what it is. Scroll. It allows users to share a bookmark and share specific pages, share those pages with one another, and as a result, using the URL as the primary mechanism, I don't need mechanism, for storing state is not only common, but often necessary for an excellent user users of web apps expect to be able to return to a specific page and see same content they did before. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I can get a feeling. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Let's take GitHub, for example. Let's see. Often, the URL or URLs can be broken into segments. I kind of feel like a diagram is appropriate here. Let's see. URL diagram. I don't have to make it. I can just find somebody else's and credit them. I wonder if they've got one on here actually. Yes, they do. Beautiful. Here, we'll just hot link to this thing. Copy image address. From the what is a URL article, we find a helpful diagram. Okay, let's describe this. An example URL, color coding different segments of the URL, including scheme, domain name, port, path to the file, parameters, anchor. That's what the alt text is going to say. Cool, that looks great. Yeah, and I think I'll just say, for more on these sections, check the article. That is the same. Okay, cool. In our web app, we're mostly interested in the path and query parameters. Well, actually, let's see. The domain name is something you configure, typically configured once for an entire site. So you don't typically end up working with that part of the URL much. The anchor or fragment, is for used to link specific parts of a page. specific IDs on a page, elements on a page by their ID. So when the user opens their browser, it automatically scrolls to that element on the page. We don't often work with that part of the URL in day-to-day web development either. What we spend most of our time working with is the path name and parameters. Let's see. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a term overload in the in web development. Parameters in the diagram above refers to the part of the URL after the question mark. These are also called, more specifically referred to as search parameters, because let's see if MDN explains that. No, they don't even mention it, because they are often used to search for content. Yeah. However, there's also query parameters. Yeah. Or query parameters. We're going to come back to that. Actually, we need to explain the parameters on that overload first. So, okay, so the path name can be broken into what we call segments, or URL segments. Yeah, segments. Or path segment, yeah, whatever, which are separated by slash. For example, a path name / about is one segment, and the path name about has two segments. Is arbitrary. Yeah, sure. Not really. It's not arbitrary at all. It's very specific. Let's take GitHub. Let's see. The path name segments can also be used to store state. Yeah. That section, the user's ID segment of is often referred to as a route parameter. There it is. As you can tell, there's a bit of an unfortunate term overload in web development. Parameters in the diagram above. But we also just talked about route parameters. And then, of course, there are function parameters. All of these serve a similar purpose. To avoid confusion, we typically call this call route parameters simply params, and the bit after the URL, the question is often called query parameter params or search params. Okay, so now in styling, yeah, we have the section the web to be like, the web is a series of pages, and here in Remix has a built-in router that that enables you to easily map URLs and route parameters to files in your application's app routes directory. Oh yeah, we need to talk about the convention too, because we're not using the built-in convention, so I gotta explain that too. Okay. Thanks to the file system convention from Remix, we don't have to spend any time configuring the routes for our application. That said, it can be quite helpful to know what the generated routes are based for your so Remix, the Remix command line interface CLI has a routes command that will print all the routes in your application. To use it, open your terminal in a Remix project and run npx remix routes. ZSH, is that a thing? That's the one. You got it. Here's an example from the, let's see, is it the finished version of the routes? Whoops. Here, actually, here's an example from the finished version of our app let's see. In the last exercise today. Okay. We're going to do that TSX instead. Okay, so CD exercises 08, 03 solution, npx remix routes, pb copy. And where did my cursor go? There we go. Here, we're going to put that in a details expand. Details, summary, details. Here we go. Click here for an example. Yeah, we'll just say of output, the output. Okay. Because the file system is a bit, limited on the types of characters we can have in our URL segments, there are some because sometimes you need to reach outside the conventions. For example, the file system can be a bit limited on the types of characters we have in our URL segments. You can programmatically generate routes as well. We won't be doing that. Well, we kind of are, but we're going to use a library for this. Let's see, I'll just say it is good to know that you can programmatically generate routes as well in your inline file. What am I looking for? Oh, and I just remembered. I meant to fix something. Oh well, we'll deal with that later. Remix config .js. Okay. The route convention remix originally shipped with a route convention, but V2 will be shipping a new one. That enables better co-location of files, related files, which helps with long-term maintenance. We will actually be using a different convention for our app that is based on the V2 convention, but allows for even better co-location of related files. The library we're using is called Remix Flat Routes. And this has already been configured in our inline file. Let's see, can you figure that out? Yes. Oh, inline, is it not inline file? Inline, oh, that's right, we can't do files in here because this isn't for an exercise. So no inline files in here. Let's see, I feel like most web applications use what is called a router to associate specific code with the URL segment. This allows us to both organize our code and optimize it for loading performance to ensure we only load the code that is necessary based on what our user needs on a specific route. Routers are also often used to help load the data that will be used in the router typically allows you to define certain URL segments as params, which can be any value, and the router will parse the URL and those params and execute the code that has been configured for that URL, passing along the params to the code. This is what allows GitHub to load a specific repository when you visit this repository, for example. Okay. Okay. router params are often, oh shoot, what is the word? Represented by a colon in the URL. For example, Remix router supports what's called nested routing. Often, the UI of an application is nested in a similar fashion. There we go. To the URL. For example, a dashboard could have a left nav, then a top nav, then a list, and finally a details portion of the page. The URL for something like this could be example.com/dashboard/ yeah. Let's do sales, invoices. The sales segment is the root of the application is the part of the app that's on all pages is actually the considered the parent route of all the routes on the page. The sales portion is a child of the root. The invoices is a child of the sales. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, invoice ID. Okay, I gotta stand up. Okay, sorry. I don't know if that was loud, but I'm sorry if it was. For example, let's take a URL like this. The UI could resemble something like this. A left nav section, root, top nav section, sales, a list, invoices, details, invoice ID. Yeah, actually, let's just do in Remix to we'll be exploring how to create these relationships in the exercise. Okay. Sometimes you want well, that's as far as we're going to go there. We'll guide you along in creating these or creating route files that match this convention, but it wouldn't hurt to have the remix flat routes documentation open. Come on. All right, it's in here somewhere. There it is. In another tab as or to reference. Okay, cool. At any time, remember, if you get lost, you can run npx remix routes to check the generated routes configuration based on your file system. Okay. Alrighty. We got our first user. His name is Cody, and so we're going to build Cody's user profile pages. let's talk about that when we actually create the index. When Cody is on users Cody, we definitely want to show his name, but we also have a few other things we want to show that we don't want to appear on the other routes. So we'll be creating an index route for the unique stuff. Okay, cool. So that's that. And then we finish with this and we say manager says, great job, Cody. Cody is thrilled. He does have another request though. So let's keep going to handle that. Oh, I should probably talk about links when we're talking about the URL. To navigate around the web, we use tags. These A is short for anchor. Please don't ask why it's not called link. You can also navigate to other pages on the web using a form tag. Thank you, Copilot. I didn't think you were going to get that. This will take the value of the input and add it to the URL. We'll get into forms more in a later lesson. You can also navigate using JavaScript. But that's typically not the best. Generally you should use anchors and forms. Okay, great. Yeah, and then down here, whoa, we lost our stuff there. Whoops. Yeah, I know what happened. There we go. Remix to facilitate navigation. Remix provides a link component that you can use to create links to other pages in your application without triggering a full page refresh, which is what clicking a regular will do. This is a nice performance optimization, and it also has better accessibility characteristics and gives the app a more native feel. Gives a better user experience. Oh, I just remembered. Let's see here. Yeah, we need to go back here, and in the remix section, talk about the links component. Let's see. It's important for you to know that Remix puts all the responsibility of what appears in the document on you. The app root TSX module or component you export is responsible for everything that appears between HTML and HTML. And that includes the head element, which contains the links that routes define. So you need to render a link element in that component. Render the links element. There we go. Okie dokie. Remix also has a built-in form component. Which improves upon the browser's handling of forms. dive deeper into that in a future exercise. Okay, cool. Yeah, I forgot to fix this. This does not, I do not want that to be underlined. And I don't want the icon there, or at least it should be the right color. And it occurs to me that's why you don't use an image for an SVG, because you can't control the color. But yeah, we'll look at that later. Okay, and so then we finish the routing. Let's see. So links. Great work. Now Cody can more easily navigate around his profile. He's told all his friends, and now they want to join our platform too. So I've got some more work for you to do. We've got routes set up, and we're using the route params to get the username of the user we want to show. You've done a great job so far. Next, we're going to want to actually load user data, but I'll go ahead, but you should take a break first. Thanks for the good work. Okay. Whoop, there. Okay, data loading is next. Let's add some notes here, or commit here. Finish exercise 2 instructions. Okay. I just realized I blew through a break and I didn't take my break. So I'm going to take a quick break. Give me a second. Okay, let's do this some more. Okay, close all these. Data loading. Let's see. So on the web, when a user goes to a URL, the browser makes a request to the server. The server then sends back a response, which is usually HTML. The browser then renders the HTML into a page. The HTML can contain references to the resources, and process them as well. That initial request for HTML normally comes with all the information the user expects to see. However, modern web applications or users of modern web applications expect to be able to interact with the page without reloading so to keep the data that's on the page up to date as the user makes changes and navigates around, the application also needs to make requests to the server for data. Originally, or in the early, the mid 20, how do you say, around 2006, a new technology was developed for this purpose called, what are you going to call it, AJAX? Yeah. Oh, what does it stand for? Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Well, that's not exactly right, but okay. These days, web applications typically use a JavaScript library called what? jQuery? No, that's not it. Thanks, though. Typically use a new web standard called Fetch, a newer. Is that right? Let's see. Sure, awesome, thanks. This allows the browser to make requests. Let's see, among other things, this API allows the browser to make requests to a server, and the server can respond. Without triggering a full page refresh. We can use this API to make requests to our servers to get data. Normally, the server responds a request for data return a JSON object, which is a string that looks like a JavaScript object. But this is so common that the Fetch API, no, it does not, but API has a special method to parse the JSON response for us. Called JSON. Uploading body. There we go. Okay. There are various parts to this API, but two critical objects are called request and response. Okay, what else do we need to know from just the web and data loading? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Fetch API is asynchronous. Doesn't block the rest of the code running. That is not at all correct, but oh, I see. All right, that's one way to teach this, but yeah, we're not going to. It's important to know that much of the Fetch API is asynchronous and promise-based. So it will be very useful to understand promises when using the Fetch API. On the server side, most JavaScript runtime environments support the Fetch API out of the box. Okay. I think that's probably enough. Oh, I guess one other thing. Even though we're not requesting a document or HTML from the server, we still make requests to URLs. router on the server, typically a server will have a router that is responsible for routing these URL requests to the appropriate handler or code that handles that URL or resource. The server can include special metadata when the server sends the response. It can include special metadata about or that goes along with the response. Tells the browser how to handle these. This is in the form of headers. I'm guessing that is correct. Yep. We won't dive very deep into headers in this workshop, but they are a very important part of the Fetch API that you should be aware of. Okay. Remix. The remix. What did I say here? Wait a second. Whoops. Oh, I messed something up. There you go. In remix. I want to be consistent. What did I do here? The web and in remix. Yeah. Okay. Remix is built around the Fetch API. You'll be in a Remix application. You work directly with the request and response objects. Even if the server-side framework has bespoke APIs for handling requests and responses. Remix will, your Remix adapter will convert those to web fetch standard request response objects for you. In our application, we're using the popular Express web framework for handling our traffic, and the Remix run Express adapter to convert okay. Remix has built-in support for loading data for both the initial page load, the document request, and one cool part about Remix is that you typically don't need to worry about whether the data is being loaded as a document request or a data request. The code to load the data will be the same, as will the code to render the UI. The data loading is a part of the route module in Remix. Each module in the app routes directory can export a function async function called a loader. Oh, well, that's interesting. This function is run only on the server and therefore has access to it receives the request object and params object, and it should return a response object. Because then the UI code can use loader data hook to get data from which will return the data from the loader function from Remix Run React. There was something I wanted to say. Oh, what was it? Oh, because the most common use case for loaders is returning JSON data, so it can be read in the use loader data hook. Remix also exports a utility called JSON. Whoops, I've got a little thing for that. which allows you to more easily create a JSON object. Let's see. For example, no, I don't want to do that. Export loader, import type loader args, or data function args from remix run node. And this is going to get our request and params, data function arms. Data string, JSON string. Kind of feel like we should switch the order of this so we don't have to have so much code. Okay. There we go. Sweet. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, we're missing some space here because I made a change. Yeah, these definitely need some space. I thought I'd fixed that. That is not what I meant to do. Let's see here. Let's go to our app CSS. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I think margin Y4. Maybe margin bottom. What? Oh, right, that makes sense. Maybe 1 rem is enough, actually. Yep, let's just do 1 rem. Okay, fixed that. And while we're here, supposed to be taking a break now, but we're not gonna. Not right yet. We need to fix this. So ID files, I think, yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna work anymore. Maybe, yeah, that's not gonna work anymore. Yeah, we're not gonna get that. There you are. Dang. I don't know what to do about that. I'll just say this is our launch editor button. Wrapper. I hate this so much. And we're going to say apply, no underline. Yep, I feel awful. And there we go. That'll do it. Let's just make sure. I missed my break. There we go. I'm a pretty terrible person for doing that, but it worked. So I don't think we need the important actually, so that at least is good. Yeah, because my styles apply before tailwinds. Okay. All right. Let's see where we're at. Kind of feel like routing is weak. So here we're just creating files. Okay. And that. Oh, I bet that extra line shows up. When we save all these touched files, that's probably when that happens. Really? You're the worst. Yeah, that's not going to work in here. Okay. Here's a quick example of how this works. With that, when you navigate to parent, child, see parent and child. If we swap the each one and the outlet, then the child will be above the parent. The parent gets to decide where its child goes. There we go. That's better to have an example. That's good. I think we probably should have something like that for the links and the params. Here's a quick example of the link component in action. Yes. Okay, that's good. Actually, I think we want to switch from main to that. Then I never have to update the URL unless I'm changing the version. We can just like make sure that the version's always matching what I've got in my package JSONs and stuff. Maybe. For example, here we go. Come on, you figure it out. Pets. Ryan Florence, you're teaching the AI to use let. All right. Let's see, what else do we need to say? That's probably enough there. So, Peter Product Manager, let's load some data. Okay, so it's great that our user profiles show their username, but it would be greater if, oh, don't let me forget this. App routes, or no, root. render the meta component here. We could show their name and other useful information as well. All right, let's just make sure we know what we're looking at here. Also, we're going to start working on the users settings page. We'll need to load the user's data in there as well. For the default value of the inputs. We've already created all those routes for so all we need now is to have some loaders to load some data. Is there anything else I need to tell them about? Your emoji friends will be in there to give you a hand, so get started. It's you should know that we've already got user authentication finished in this app, and you'll be using some utilities from the inline file. File is app utils auth server. Luckily, you shouldn't need to make any changes to that file, but some of those functions will help you determine who the current user is. And on that note, we've also got a special route for you to find users to test your work out with. It's link to app to admin users list. That will list the users in the app and give you some basic info about each, so you can test a couple different users. All right. Start app. Cool. Then we go to this user. Boom. To do, you need to do this. Oh man. Let's go to that to give us a little bit of space. Let's see. you should also know you can log in as any user by using their username as the password. Let's see, there was something else I was going to say. Also, you'll need this when you test out the link to app to settings profile page. Cody is a good one to test with for, well, yeah, that's fine. They can do whatever they want. Cody's the last one, yeah. Cody is an Cody insisted on being an exception to this rule. Oh. And his password is Cody loves you. Okay. Okay, great. We're going to let you focus on the data loading. So in the next step, the UI will be created for you. Just get that data in the UI and we'll handle the rest. Okay. Sweet, so then we get the data in the UI. Stop this thing. Oh, I think I removed the wrong thing. There we go. Loading data. Okay. Great work. got the data on the page. I'll set your coworkers to work adding some nice UI to that so you can go on to the next step. Pretty sure we had some UI. I can't remember now. Oh man. Oh, we don't have the update. That might explain that. Okay, users, whatever. 404 not found. Cool. Huh. Oh, right. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Cool. I'm still blown away that I've got this history thing working. I think that's the coolest thing. Okay, cool. So then for missing data, sometimes, let's see, manager, sometime, one of our quality assurance folks discovered an issue. If you go to a user that does not yet exist, the app crashes. Does it crash? I don't think it crashes. Go problem. For example, try this one. Users, I do not exist. Okay. We got 404 not found. Let's see what the diff looks like. What do we... Yeah, we are not handling that yet. Anyway, wait a second. Wait just a second. Huh. How are we getting a 404? Who's giving me that 404? 6022. How is this 6022? This is exercise 3. This one's 6022. Let's make sure we're in the right spot. Oh, well, that's handled by the index. Dang it. Okay. Yeah, the index is throwing the response. Dang it. Maybe what we could do is we could just ignore TypeScript. Yep, there we go. And then we could say, hey, it's crashing. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, there we go. And then okay, great. And no matter what they end up doing, we're gonna have that error. There we go. That's good. Kablooey. Okay. Let's make sure that is what happens also. Okay, so log out and then go to settings. It looks like it is redirecting anyway. Yeah, I think I know why. This require user ID. Does this? Actually, okie doke. I really like the these exercises. They're very practical. Okay. What does Peter have to say for himself now? Is it life jacket or life vest? Jacket. Actually, it just occurred to me, I think we need to go into here. Yeah, no, that's fine. They're not going to reproduce that. They might. Let's go back to the solution here and make sure that it is doing the same thing. I don't think it is, so we need to... Yeah, they don't write this. Okay. Okay, now finish exercise 3 instructions. It's really nice to have the build passing. Well, yeah, this is a little special because we don't have the testing stuff, but oh. Okay. I think I want to say I'm done for the night, but I probably shouldn't. Let's look at mutations really quick. Oh man, 5 steps. I need to be done. Yeah, I should probably be done. Okay. So tomorrow I will continue working on mutations. I think this workshop is too long for a 6-hour thing. We can probably chop off SEO and maybe form validation. I don't know. Oh man, this is almost, it almost feels like it's 2 workshops. So we will see tomorrow or on Thursday. But tomorrow we'll write everything out because I'm definitely using all the content. I'm just not sure I can fit it all in one workshop. So we'll see. All right. Thanks for hanging out. See y'all. Oh, I just realized I didn't pay attention to chat. Okay. Yeah, looks like we're okay. Yeah. Okay. See you all later. Bye.